Russian troops have carried out an airstrike on the building of a boarding school in Sudzha town in Russia's Kursk region, the General Staff of Ukrainian Armed Forces reported on Saturday. The strike was carried out with aerial bombs. Dozens of local residents, including the elderly, women, children who were preparing to evacuate, were in the facility during the moment of the strike. Around 96 people are said to be trapped under the rubbles. Measures are being taken to help the survivors. Alexey Dmitrashkovsky, a representative of Ukrainian Armed Forces Commandant's office in Sudzha, said that the attack was carried out at 17:54, adding that search and rescue operation was underway. The information about the Russian attack on Sudzha was confirmed by several activists. It should be noted that Ukraine launched large-scale incursion into Russia's Kursk region in early August, capturing large swathes of lands in the area. Russia has increased military presence in the region since then.
In the Pokrovsk direction, the Ukrainian Armed Forces are not allowing Russian occupiers to achieve success. This was reported today, January the 29th, on the air of the Freedom TV channel by Ukrainian Armed Forces officer Sergei Sekotsky. The Ukrainian Armed Forces are actually coping with their task. Why are they coping? Because the enemy, having a numerical advantage, is not achieving the desired success. Here, despite the fact that they are coming, more than 70 attacks every day, they are all being repelled, and each time the enemy is becoming smaller. The enemy is really demoralized, he said. According to the officer, in recent days, Russian occupiers have been surrendering with joy because they know that Ukraine complies with the rules of international humanitarian law. What is the enemy doing? They are practically not using equipment now because, firstly, there is less of it. The number of tanks destroyed during all this time is approaching 10,000. They mainly use cars, buggies. They use them to land, deliver ammunition, personnel directly to the line of combat contact. And they use weather conditions, fog. They think that they are not seen, and in this way they move directly to the line of our positions. Sekotsky said, Russian forces have concentrated their main efforts on the Pokrovsk direction. The defense forces are inflicting losses on the Russian forces in personnel and equipment. This was reported by the spokesperson of the Operational and Strategic Group of Forces, Kortitsia, Lieutenant Colonel Nazar Voloshin, on Telegram. Voloshin noted that the Russian troops were actively conducting offensive operations in this area of Vodian Dru, Yelizavetivka, Mirol Lyubivka, Promin, Suki Yar, Serihivka, Udachny, Uspenivka, Novoaleksandrivka, Oleksiivka, Dachny, and Ulakli. He also reported that heavy fighting continued in Lysivka, Zeleny, Shevchenko, Novovasilivka, Nadiivka, and Yantany. The defense forces are inflicting losses on the enemy in personnel and equipment. Measures are being taken to prevent the deterioration of the tactical situation, he added. Additionally, he stated that in the Kramatorsk direction, the Russian forces stormed the defense forces fortifications in Chasiv Yar in the areas of Bilahora and Diliivka. Drone warfare innovations have become a defining feature of the ongoing Russo-Ukrainian war. Unmanned vehicles of various sizes, operating in the air, on land and at sea, play a central role, with technology advancing rapidly from both sides. Additionally, many Ukrainian allies develop and improve their aerial drones, testing them on Ukrainian battlefields. Recently, several Ukrainian sources reported that Ukraine's armed forces have successfully integrated full-size Fab 250 bombs into their drone warfare operations, conducting precision strikes on Russian targets in Bryansk Oblast. According to the report by the Ukrainian Air Defense Forces-linked Telegram channel, Nikolaevsky Vanyok, 14th Separate UAV Regiment of the Ukrainian Armed Unmanned Systems Forces, has successfully employed UAVs carrying 250-kilogram aerial bombs. Defense Express notes that the photo evidence shared by the Telegram channel includes an image showing the Fab 250M54 high-explosive aerial bomb mounted on a UAV alongside a 120mm mortar shell, demonstrating the scale of these weapons. The classified unmanned aircraft are designed for multiple missions, returning to base after payload delivery for rearmament and redeployment. Militani says that in the early hours of the 30th of January, the 14th Regiment deployed at least one modified aircraft to bomb the Novozhivkov oil pumping station in the Druzhba pipeline in Russia's Bryansk Oblast. The aircraft was armed with a 250-kilogram Fab 250 M54 bomb and two smaller munitions, visually resembling artillery shells. The aircraft's return to Ukraine remained unclear, while as of 1300, Russian media had not published any images of downed aircraft, Militani added. According to Defense Express, Russian forces are now aware of Ukraine's capability to deploy full-size Fab bombs via drones. It is unclear what aircraft now carry the mass-produced Fab 250 aerial bombs. Earlier, photos surfaced from April 2024 of Ukrainian UAVs that crashed in Russia, identified by Militani as E-300 Sky Ranger light aircraft. It was modified into a drone with a bomb-carrying pylon and an onboard remote control electro-optical system, possibly also used for target acquisition and precision bombing. Defense Express noted that the modified Sky Rangers carried a lighter aerial bomb, Fab 100. The targeted oil pumping station was located less than 100 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, while previous wreckage was found over 1,000 kilometers away, according to Militani. Defense Express says the successful deployment of Fab 250 bombs indicates either new aircraft introduction or Sky Ranger UAV payload capacity enhancement. In November, videos from Russia's Dagestan showed other light aircraft, A-22 Foxbat, also made into a UAV. However, due to their long range, these UAVs were on a one-way mission, and it remains unclear whether they can drop the bomb and return to base. Russian State Duma Speaker Vyacheslav Volodin has sent an appeal to the US Congress and the UN in connection with Tucker Carlson's claims about an assassination plot against President Vladimir Putin, the lower house of the Russian parliament said in a statement posted on its Telegram channel. State Duma Speaker Vyacheslav Volodin sent to the US Congress the State Duma statement in connection with information that former US President Joe Biden and former Secretary of State Antony Blinken organized an assassination attempt on Russian President Vladimir Putin. The copy of the document was also sent to the UN, the statement said. Earlier, US reporter Tucker Carlson, in a conversation with his colleague Matt Taibbi, said that the Joe Biden administration tried to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin. According to him, Antony Blinken, who served as Secretary of State under Biden in the last 2 months of his tenure, pushed so hard for a real war between the US and Russia. Carlson's statement has ignited a firestorm of reactions, with the Kremlin responding to the claim. Dmitry Peskov, Putin's spokesman, emphasized that the Russian president is well protected from potential threats, but he refrained from confirming or denying any alleged US attempts to target Putin. The Russian special services are constantly taking all the necessary measures to ensure public safety and, of course, the safety of those who are under state protection. This concerns first and foremost the head of the state, Peskov said. However, Russian Parliament Speaker Vyacheslav Volodin adopted a more forceful tone, warning that any plot to assassinate Putin would have catastrophic consequences, including the possibility of nuclear war. Volodin has linked Carlson's claim to other incidents, including attempts to attack Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban and Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico. He also referenced an attack on former US President Donald Trump during his election campaign, suggesting that these events are part of a larger pattern. Carlson visited Russia twice for high-profile interviews with Putin and Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, during which both officials repeated Kremlin narratives justifying the war in Ukraine. The pundit is also a vocal supporter of former US President Donald Trump, who has pledged to end the war, a prospect that has raised concerns among Ukraine's allies, who fear he could pressure Kyiv into accepting Russian territorial demands.